Have you ever stood in the middle of a crowded room, laughter and chatter buzzing around you, yet felt utterly isolated? Like you're slowly suffocating beneath the weight of forced smiles and empty conversations? It's not about disliking others, it's about desperately wanting to vanish, to escape from an atmosphere that feels unbearably stifling. You wonder quietly, is it just me? Society insists that being outgoing and sociable is the key to happiness, but for introverts and highly sensitive individuals, this expectation often leads to exhaustion rather than joy. The harder you try to fit in, to be engaging, lively, and connected, the more drained and disconnected you feel. Every social gathering becomes a performance, pretending to enjoy small talk, hiding your discomfort, enduring subtle judgments when your energy fades. But this isn't a flaw. It's a profound mismatch between your inner world and the outside environment. You don't need fixing, you need understanding. This video isn't about changing who you are. It's about honoring your feelings, embracing your true nature, and recognizing you're not alone. Let's explore this journey together, toward deeper self-acceptance and genuine peace. Number 1. You are an introvert. Silence isn't emptiness. It's strength in its purest, most grounded form. If you've ever felt completely alive while sitting alone in a quiet room, away from the noise, you know exactly what that means. Solitude isn't loneliness for you. It's clarity. It's coming home. So why does your peace make others uncomfortable? Introverts are wired differently. While the world celebrates extroversion, volume, presence, interaction, you crave depth. Not 10 conversations at once, but one that truly matters. You don't reject people. You simply long for meaning, for stillness, for space where your inner world can breathe. Socializing drains you, not because you're weak, but because it demands energy you must ration carefully. Each small talk, each polite laugh, each moment of forced cheer pulls from your reserves. You're not avoiding connection, you're protecting your mind's quiet sanctuary. In a world that rewards speed, noise, and surface-level charm, being introverted feels like swimming upstream. You're expected to keep up, to entertain, to engage. But when the conversation lacks substance, you drift. You feel lost, not because you don't belong, but because the room leaves no space for your truth. Choosing to retreat isn't a failure. It's not a flaw. It's an act of power. You're not afraid of people. You just prefer your own rhythm, your own depth, your own sacred stillness. Leaving the crowd isn't escaping life. It's returning to the room inside yourself where your soul finally breathes. The world often mistakes your quiet for weakness or emotional distance. But that's their misunderstanding, not your burden. Society measures you by how loud you are. Stoicism reminds us to be measured by how aligned we are with our nature. So ask yourself, am I living in tune with my essence or performing for approval I never needed? You don't need to change. You need to own your silence, because in that silence lives your strength, and in that stillness, you're not broken, you're real. Number 2, trust issues. Trust is the invisible thread that holds every relationship together. Delicate, vital, and heartbreakingly easy to break. Maybe you've been there before. You opened your heart, spoke your truth, believed in someone, and they let it all fall apart. What's left behind isn't just disappointment, it's a hollow ache, a sense that something sacred was mishandled. Losing trust doesn't just mean losing faith in others. It often means losing faith in yourself, questioning your judgment, your instincts, even your ability to tell good from bad. Maybe a friend betrayed you, a partner lied, a loved one broke a promise. It wasn't just the act that hurt, it was the realization that you never saw it coming. So now you hesitate. You scan every word, every gesture. You read between the lines, even when there's nothing written. Your mind becomes a radar for danger, alert, exhausted, always watching. You're not cold, you're not closed, you're just wounded. And you're doing what humans do when they're in pain. You protect yourself. The fear isn't just being hurt, it's being hurt again. It's not weakness, it's memory. It's experience telling you, be careful. But behind all that caution, there's still a longing for something real, something safe. You haven't given up on trust. You're just learning to guard it better. And that's the shift. You're not broken. You're becoming more selective. Trust doesn't mean opening the gates blindly. It means opening them slowly, thoughtfully, deliberately. Stoic philosophy reminds us we can't control what others do, but we can control what we accept into our lives. Choose who you trust. Choose wisely. That's not fear, that's dignity. Your trust is a gift. Don't hand it to everyone. Let people earn it. And when they do, give it with pride, not apology. Because protecting your heart is strength. Number 3. Spending time with the wrong people. People often assume that if you don't like socializing, it means you hate people. But the truth is quieter and more painful. Sometimes you distance yourself not because you hate people, but because you've spent too much time with the wrong ones. You leave a gathering not energized, but drained, not uplifted, but disappointed. You sit in silence afterward, wondering, why did I even go? There are certain people who don't just take your time, they take your energy. The relentless talker who never lets you speak. The chronic complainer who sees life through a lens of gray. The one who delivers cutting remarks behind smiles. And so you sit there, smiling politely, nodding, pretending to care, while inside, you're shrinking, suffocating, shutting down. It's not a conversation. It's emotional labor you never signed up for. Picture this. You meet someone who dominates the moment, dismisses your voice, pressures you into things that feel off. You leave that meeting feeling more alone than before, like you've stepped further away from who you really are. So, you withdraw. Not to isolate, but to protect your peace. You don't reject connection. You crave it, but you crave the right kind. Honest, reciprocal, aligned. Even kind people can be a mismatch for your soul. Saying no to draining relationships isn't selfish, it's mature. The more time you spend with the wrong people, the more you begin to fear any people. The anticipation of discomfort replaces the hope of connection. You're not avoiding humanity, you're avoiding exhaustion. Stoic philosophy reminds us, time is our most valuable possession. Don't waste it on those who blur your clarity. The right people leave you feeling more like yourself, not less. So choose wisely. Protect your peace. When you stop giving your time to the wrong people, you create space for the right ones to finally walk in. Number 4. Low self-esteem. Sometimes, the real reason you avoid people doesn't lie in them. It lies in you. Not because you don't care. Not because they've hurt you. But because deep down, you quietly fear you're not enough. Have you ever asked yourself, am I avoiding others because I'm afraid they'll see through me? Low self-esteem is rarely loud. It whispers in subtle ways. When you overthink what to say, when you second-guess your presence in the room, when you convince yourself you're boring, annoying, or simply not worth someone's time. On the outside, you may appear calm, even confident. But inside, there's a storm of doubt, questioning every move, every word, every look from others. And it's exhausting. This self-doubt creates a loop. You begin to withdraw, thinking you're protecting yourself. But the more you pull away, the more isolated you feel. You overanalyze interactions, replaying them in your mind until you find something wrong. You build an invisible cage and then convince yourself you belong inside it. But here's the truth. Those feelings of inadequacy, they aren't who you are. They're stories your mind tells, shaped by past pain, fear, or comparison. And they're not permanent. They can be rewritten. Stoic philosophy reminds us, the only judgment that truly matters is the one we make of ourselves. Most people are too busy wrestling with their own insecurities to fixate on yours. And when you stop attacking yourself from within, the fear of judgment from others loses its grip. Start small. Talk to someone safe. Step slightly outside your comfort zone. Celebrate one tiny moment of courage. Confidence isn't the absence of insecurity. It's the decision to keep showing up, despite it. You don't need to be flawless to deserve connection. You are worthy, even while you're still learning to believe it. Number 5. Social anxiety. You know that moment. Your chest tightens, your breath becomes shallow, and your palms start sweating. Not because you're in danger, but because you're about to step into a social gathering. Even among friends, you can feel that familiar wave of dread rising inside. This isn't just shyness. It's a battle inside your mind, a war between your genuine desire for connection and the deep, relentless fear of judgment. Social anxiety often begins long before the event itself. Your mind starts spinning stories, imagining countless ways things could go wrong. By the time you actually arrive, you're already exhausted from fighting internal battles that nobody else can see. Your anxiety isn't about people being unkind. It's your brain being hyper-alert to rejection, replaying old fears from past hurts. Every conversation feels like walking a tightrope. One misstep and you'll fall into humiliation. You become hyper-aware of your voice, your body language, your words. Afterward, you replay every interaction, dissecting each moment for mistakes. This leaves you isolated, trapped within your mind, even in the midst of a crowded room. This anxiety isn't random. It's rooted in past experiences. Maybe you were once rejected, embarrassed, or made fun of. Those painful moments embed themselves deep in your memory, resurfacing as distorted warnings, making normal interactions feel unsafe. You're not weak, you're surviving the echoes of past wounds. Yet the more you withdraw, the harder socializing becomes, creating a vicious cycle. Isolation leads to loss of social skills, which increases anxiety even further. But Stoicism teaches us we can't control how we feel, only how we respond. Courage isn't about being fearless, it's moving forward despite the fear. Start small. A text, a phone call, coffee with a familiar face. Celebrate every small victory. Then be gentle with yourself. Prioritizing your mental health over constant social integration isn't wrong, it's wise. Remember, you're not alone, and you deserve compassion, even from yourself. Ultimately, the reasons you distance yourself from others aren't simple. They're a blend of your history, your emotions, and deeply personal experiences. Choosing solitude isn't random isolation. It's a soul map drawn from countless internal scars and quiet truths. Solitude isn't weakness. It's your sanctuary, a place where you think deeply, create meaningfully, heal gently, and reconnect with your authentic self. Society might misunderstand your choice, but that doesn't make it wrong. Instead of feeling guilty, feel proud of your capacity to cherish the inner world you've carefully built. Remember, avoiding certain interactions isn't rejecting humanity. It's consciously choosing your peace over pleasing others. True maturity is knowing when to step out and when to retreat to restore yourself. Amidst a loud world demanding constant interaction, living slowly and intentionally is an act of bravery. By choosing depth over superficiality, you're not escaping life, you're courageously protecting the quality of it.